Hey guys, what's up? It's JR Cuber, and in this video we have a really big unboxing from the Cubicle.us. In here is a big cube that I've been waiting for many years, and I'm very excited to open it up and check it out. Okay, so here is the puzzle. This is the Moyu 15 by 15. I have been looking forward to this cube ever since it was first announced many years ago. I think it was around the same time as the 13 by 13 was announced, which must be like 2014, 2013, something like that. So it's been a long time coming, but now it's finally here, so we can finally go ahead and open it up. It comes in this really nice, like soft touch packaging. Yeah, it's quite fancy, and the problem though is that I've heard that these break off pretty often. It happened to Damien, where this comes from the Cubicle, and it also happened to Nathan, so that's why this is taped down. So it looks like it is pretty loose in there, so it's not, I don't think it's a very viable actual carrying case, but it's not like I'm going to be transporting it in this box anyways. But anyway, here we go. This is the puzzle. Let's go ahead and get it out. Alright, okay, so here is the 15 by 15. The first thing I'm noticing is just how compact this puzzle is. This is actually really small. So the first thing I want to do before I make any moves is do some size comparisons to show you guys just how small this actually is. So first up, we're going to do the Yushin Huanglong 11 by 11, and so you guys might be able to tell it's actually not that much bigger than it. The pillowed edge is smaller, but the from center to center is not smaller, but it feels about the same size in the hand. So if you guys have an 11 by 11 or have tried one, it actually feels smaller because it's pillowed, because the edge on the outside that you actually are gripping is smaller than this 11 by 11. Next up, we have the Yushin 13 by 13, which is considerably bigger than this cube, which I think is really surprising. I was expecting the 15 by 15 to be bigger than the 13 by 13 by a decent amount, and I am a little bit upset about that. I'll talk more about that later. But yeah, here's the 13 by 13. It definitely, it feels much more like an older puzzle when you kind of see it next to this. Like, this looks much more refined and like newer, I guess, because it's smaller. So yeah, you can tell that there's a pretty big size difference. If I get it up here, you can see that, just like that. And then finally, we can compare it to the Behemoth 17 by 17. So the 17 by 17 makes the 13 by 13 feel like a baby. And then of course, this puzzle here is going to appear way smaller than it, even though this puzzle here is only 2 layers smaller than this. And even though this puzzle has a pretty high density of pieces, it still looks like this is the overall much more massive puzzle, even though it's only 2 layers bigger. So that pretty much right there is just my biggest complaint right off the bat, is the size. I know that they did it to be portable and lighter and probably cheaper as well. But the thing is that, you know, not a lot of people are going to buy this. It is still expensive. It's about $450. I think big cubes should be impressive. I think they should really look good on the shelves and be big and kind of to show off how many layers they have. And the 13 by 13 and 17 by 17 did that really well. But this puzzle is going to sit in between those in the lineup and look really small, even though it's actually bigger than the 13 by 13 in layers, but smaller in size, and then comparable in layers to the 17 by 17, but much smaller in size. It's about half as big, really. However, that being said, this is a very small puzzle, and it's very easy to grip. As you can see, I can get my hands all the way around this. I can't even do that on the 13 by 13. So yeah, let's go ahead and do some turns and see how it actually moves. Okay, right off the bat, it's not like totally smooth. The outer layers are definitely the most smooth, but you know, it turns like you'd expect a Moyu puzzle to. It turns very similarly to the 13 by 13. It's a little bit more crunchy than the 13 by 13 for sure, and it's not as smooth or fast. So it definitely feels tight. I don't know Yeah, I mean, the tensions are pretty tight. I don't want to loosen it, though, because I don't want it to pop. So I don't know. The turning is not as good as I kind of was hoping it would be. It's not as good as the 13 by 13 or the 17 by 17 for that matter. Although it might actually be better than the 17 by 17 if it manages to not get those like weird lockups when you try and turn a big slice layer. On the 17 by 17, you can feel the inner pieces, like the inner centers, catching because they're not very rounded, they're pretty squared off. So when you try and move it, you just feel the whole thing kind of creaking inside. This is much more compact. It doesn't feel like it's going to do that. So that is good. Another thing too is because of the thinness of these layers, I don't know, it's a little bit awkward to move just individual slice layers. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a checkerboard. You know, checkerboards are not that hard, you know, because you're not really moving individual slice layers, you're just moving all the layers at once. But say like if I was going to do that middle turn right there, it's not that bad. You know, and it actually, you know, it isn't that bad because of how easy it is to grip. So it's not as bad as I was thinking it was going to be. When I heard about the size of this puzzle, I knew that the layers were going to have to be ridiculously small, and they are. But because you can grip it so easily, at least if you have bigger hands, it could be a problem if you have smaller hands. But if you have big hands, it's not that hard to just grip the specific layer that you want. So it's really not all that bad. So as you can see, getting a full checkerboard is really quite easy. So I'm almost done here. There we go. That should be a full one. Okay, so there is your full checkerboard pattern, but yeah, so turning this puzzle is definitely a lot easier than 17 by 17. If I bring this behemoth back into frame, you can see that to turn a layer, you can't actually grip the whole thing. You have to pick it up and kind of just try and figure out which one you're going to move and slowly turn it like that. So yeah, if this puzzle here had the layers of the size of the 15 by 15, I don't know, because this one turns so smoothly because of its layer size and because it has more space for the mechanism. So it's not like, I feel like there would be more problems with this cube if they tried to make it any smaller than it was. And that could very well be why this cube took so long to come out. If they were trying to minimize the design and the footprint of this cube, it would have taken a lot longer to design it properly, because the problem with this is these pieces are so small, I feel like they could very easily break if they're not designed right and not designed very strongly. However, I will give the 15 by 15 this. It does feel very, very sturdy. It's not the best turning, but it does feel like it's going to stay together well, which is of course very good for a big cube because you don't want any catastrophic pops. As far as the sticker placement goes, it's quite good. I'm not sure how well these stickers are going to stay on because they're so small. I know that 13 by 13 stickers don't even stay on that well, so since these are so much smaller, they probably won't stay on that well after a lot of solves. But once I actually get one for myself to keep, I will be re-stickering it for sure. So I'm actually just borrowing this puzzle from the cubicle right now. I'm not actually keeping it. So it's going around to a few more testers first. So Damien was the first one that had it because he solved it already and he made his video and everything because he works there, and he got it when they first got it in stock, and now they sent it to me, and then I'm going to be sending it to Crazy Bad Cuber. But before I send it away, I'm going to be scrambling it and solving it for sure, and I will be doing a live stream just like I did with the 17 by 17. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as long as that stream. I wouldn't imagine this cube is going to take me more than about 2.5 to 3 hours to solve, I would imagine. Because it's quite a bit lighter and more maneuverable, I'd imagine I'm not going to tire out as fast, and I could probably just do it in one go and not even take any breaks. So in that case, I might even be able to do it in 2 hours. I might time it, I'm not sure. We'll see when we get to it. That live stream will probably be happening within the next week or so sometime for sure. So yeah, first impressions of this puzzle are pretty good. The turning isn't perfect, like I said. It's not as fast as I want it to be and not as smooth as I would like it to be. You know, the 13 by 13 and 17 by 17 glide really easily and they're very fast. Or at least not necessarily fast, but they're just easy to turn, which is a good thing for a big cube because of course you're doing thousands of turns in a single solve. I feel like I might end up tiring after a while just because it takes a bit more force to get the layers to go. The size isn't ideal for me. I would have preferred something bigger than the 13 by 13, but I can definitely live with this because it is very maneuverable and it's easy to hold on to. So yeah, that is the Moyu 15 by 15. All that's left to do now is scramble it up. So let's go ahead and do that in the favorite way of scrambling big cubes, just turning all the layers like that. And then aligning everything like that and going the other way. And we just keep doing this for a while. All right, so there is the puzzle all scrambled up. I gotta say, I really like the way black stickered big cubes look more than stickerless puzzles. I know that's just a preference thing, but just in general, I kind of like the look of black puzzles with stickers more than stickerless. Like the main reason I use stickerless cubes for my speed cubes is just because they're better, but I do actually prefer the look of black with stickers. And because of just the mass density of pieces, it just looks really colorful all scrambled. Yeah, this definitely looks pretty good. All right, I'm pretty satisfied with this. I've been waiting for this cube for many years, and I'd say I'm pretty happy with what we ended up with. Moyu's real good at making sturdy big cubes, and I have no worries about this popping or anything like that. It really doesn't feel like it's going to, which is of course great. Anyways, that about does it for the Moyu 15x15. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this puzzle in the comments. Do you want to get one? Would you guys solve it a lot if you had it, or would it just end up sitting on your shelf like a lot of my big cubes do? So just let me know what you guys are thinking in those comments. I also want to give a huge shout out to Damien, or the Cubologist, for sending this puzzle over for me to try out. I'll leave a link to his video on this puzzle in the description, as well as his channel. Anyways, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit that like button, turn notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.